Good morning. We have got quite a bit going on, and I want to talk about the astrology. I am going to bring us a Decan walk today, 36 faces, the Golden Dawn system. And I've done this reading today at 7:28 a.m., which is going to give us a process of authority and karmic cycles being at the fore in a very obvious ways, as this is a 710, which then reduces to a 7-1 or an 8. And of course, 8 is happening with some strength. And then you have 6. Today is June 6, 2025, which gives us a 21. The karmic energy is quite interesting as we have a card of a 2 and a 3. And kind of both cards are covered in the numerology, the way this reading comes out. And so it's about communications and karmic explosive bits of information. Today is Friday, Venus Day, and the beads of the day would be rose quartz for abundance, rhodonite, it heals the hidden, malachite for creativity, for transforming that within, for pink tourmaline for heart chakra, and anything black for warding off darker energies. So as you can see here today, I have a 2 of Pentacles and a 3 of Pentacles, as though we have a story unfolding that has a ways to go. And of course, if you have watched my channel, you need to know that sometimes I do speak a little bit in code. I am not a political reader, yet the astrology sometimes overlaps. And so I want to say that. You might hear tones of politics in my reading today, but that's just, it's a general reading and it does apply to all of us, and in particular, probably some more than others. The 2 of Pentacles is going to relate to the 10th house, our most obvious house, where we kind of figure it into high noon, where it's so obvious and notable. We have Capricorn, the first decan is Jupiter, and the 2 major arcanas are the Wheel of Fortune and the Devil. So this is something happening at the very top, some juggling of priorities and finding out one's fate, balance, multiple demands in the public sphere, and more so when in a public career. So as this energy of fate sets in and takes control, the pattern that is leading it is illustrating many pieces of information that have been left out there and left off the table because they're manipulative pieces of information. They're not meant to be brought forward. But at this time, the astrology says it doesn't matter what you want. These backroom deals are over and it's now collapsing. So what are we dealing with? Well, we're dealing with a larger archetypal pattern involving the scapegoat or the scapegoat. Who is going to be our scapegoat in this big process we're in the flux and events? Many of us are unprepared, for sure. And this is a very disruptive type of energy. It's saying that if you've got secrets and you think you're going to be keeping them, think again. It's not possible. That right now, the veil is being ripped wide open, and whatever is there to see will be seen. We are encouraged to know a balance is going to occur whether you want it to occur or not. Many things have been allowed to go on due to lack of time and money. Many of us don't necessarily pay close attention to our system because we're so busy just trying to keep the lights on and food on the table. So there's a lot of abstraction going on. And this astrology promises a complete breakdown of the old systems. Why does it need to break down? What's broken? Well, I can say a lot of things really actually are broken. And as a result of so many things at this point being broken, none of us are really feeling any kind of freedom. Where Mars is coming in Leo and saying, no, you have to rethink yourself. Mars went through a period of time where it was in Cancer, where it was really asking us to deeply look back in retrograde and look at what's going on within the family. Our moon today is in Libra, which is ruled by Gemini, and our moon in the first quarter, meaning that it's gaining vitality. It's getting ready to be at the halfway point before you hardly know it. And it's also talking about the Gemini cycle. The new moon was in Gemini, and now it has moved from Gemini through the process over to Libra, where it's truth and things coming out within our relationships that we must deal with, that we cannot continue to sweep under the rugs. That those who claim they're victims and helpless and whatnot, that's not true either. And we're being asked to be real. Our Three of Pentacles is going to be relating back now to Mars, to our energy in Leo, where how we see ourselves matters. And this is going to be the second decan. And it relates to the Tower and the Devil, the Three of Pentacles. This is illustrating something quite interesting. There was help brought during the winter to expand and bring someone into the frame. A backroom deal. Many secrets. Lots of hidden information. In rather obvious places. The 10th house. The Lord of Hard Work. The Master of Strategy. We get the Tower and the Devil. A sea goat, the mythical creature of the 10th house. In Capricorn, kind of like the devil, if you will. And one of the things that came to me while I was writing this all out is, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. And I think he's saying that directly to all of those at the top. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. There's something else in mind. So it's highly interesting to me that this all-out fallout we're witnessing is taking place right now. We are all beasts, if you will, with shadows and appetites, wanting control. But there are those who want control of things that one should never have control of, that they're not meant to have control of. And currently, Mars is in a state of exaltation. So, meaning that there is going to be things that are going to get said about people who collaborated and attempted mastery and disruption, attempted to build something of substance. But Mars says there's a conflict, and it's a big one, and a need to take decisive action. Upheavals and revelations will now be the status quo. June 7th through the 28th, Mars in Leo will set a tense stage, if you will. Aspects that are explosive, that are going to reveal the power struggles and the major upheavals to come. We will learn of shocks and scandals with potential for institutionalized shakeups. Civil unrest will now become dramatic, so be very mindful. There are things being said that are revolving around alliances that have been made that have fractured. And the general trend will be towards justice. This is astrology. It is bigger than the individual humans, and not one of us get out of this. We are being asked to have justice and accountability at our side. Venus, it's telling us women's issues will be highlighted, and a time of proper reckoning and transformation. The old alliances dissolving and hidden matters brought to light. On June 15th, expect the deception to be exposed through various radical moves. So today's the 6th. This is going to build, and tomorrow is actually when the astrology gets really pointed. So I find it interesting that some of the blowout right now, or the blowback, is coming, and I'm really happy that maybe it'll slow down some of this financial finagling that's going on in DC. And with that, please do like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for joining me here today.